beautiful morning in Main Street, Rutherford.
Good job. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jimmy Dancy. Okay, I'm going to take a chance. Tell them who you are.
Jackson Holtzclaw.
That's right. You know who you are.
Doug said it.
Doug said that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he knows you then, so.
My name is actually William.
Okay.
He's been pretty standard with that one for a while.
Yeah, Liam is one of his close friends, so hopefully he's watching.
Or Clayton.
Or what?
Clayton.
Well, that's a new friend.
My name is Clayton.
Creighton, okay.
When I said that is because last night I had a game and he played baseball with me. So.
Okay.
How'd the game go, Jackson?
Okay. How did you do last night?
Pretty well, but we played in a different field and I ran third base, not first base.
Okay. Well, that's fun.
Up on you a little bit,
Yeah,
huh?
and I fired it over and I got some grass stains.
Well, grass stains happens in baseball. That's
and I fired it over the ball with my own team.
Well, that happens too. So thank you again for joining us every Friday morning. Thanks to Magnolia and Doug to getting us online, letting us run with it. Beautiful day. It is a beautiful day in Rutherford, isn't it? You're supposed to say yeah.
See, I was told yesterday was a beautiful day in Rutherford, Mayor. So we're just got a record going. So I had multiple phone calls yesterday, thanking me, even though it wasn't me, it wasn't the town, it was the North Carolina Department of Transportation who fixed some potholes up on North Main Street. So for people that come in North Main, they were saying that's a beautiful day in Rutherford, and we've got potholes fixed on North Main Street. So I want to give a big thank you to NCDOT for patching those. You can actually hold a cup of coffee coming all the way down Main Street now. So.
And someone in my family, not either one of us, thanks DOT for doing that because they bring it to my attention every time we go down the street. So thanks DOT for fixing it. It was noticed right off the bat, so we do appreciate it.
Well, and we've got some great eyes in the community. And somebody said, "Hey, there's a pothole right in front of the courthouse. Why didn't they fix that one?" Well, Broad River Water Authority has got a little bit of a water maintenance opportunity that they need to fix over there, and they're going to be fixing that maintenance opportunity in the next few days, and then that pothole will be fixed. So all of the holes from the courthouse all the way back up North Main up to Mountain Street are all fresh and new and easy traveling now on Main Street.
Well, we certainly do appreciate it. It was noticed and a great job. So we thank them for, oh gosh, look at that. He's showing off. And okay, great job. Thank you again. Anything else you want to say before we have to go to school?
Yeah. And speaking of shirts, every time when Liam sits beside me or something, he does this. He has a zip it up shirt and he either zips it up and shows it out.
Excuse me.
Okay, he likes his shirt then. Well, you can tell him at school today that you talked about him, okay?
And Clayton.
And Creighton too. So, okay. Thanks, guys, for getting us on. Everybody have a nice weekend. We've got a big day tomorrow. They're going to be talking about that. So everybody come out and be a part of what's happening in Rutherford. Thank you again for joining us. Anything last thing you want to say?
Bye, Ducky.
Bye, Duck. Wow, that's right. We got some ducks coming up pretty soon. So we're going to talk about that too. So you haven't talked about that. Well, you and I'll talk about that because you're going to buy some ducks again this year, aren't you? Because you came in third place last year. So we want to get some fast ducks this time, okay?
All right, I'll try to get the old ducks because at home I got some old ducks. And I'll try to find them.
Well, we'll get some more from Magnolia, okay? With your favorite color. Okay. Say goodbye.
Bye, Mayor. Bye, Jackson.
Bye.
Thanks, Ian. Have a great weekend.
Always a hoot.
Just a quack.
A quack.
I don't know. Maybe that's not appropriate.
Yeah. People have also said bless you because you sneezed on Brewtiful morning.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, this year, I know every year you say because it's been a year since you remember the last allergy season. I don't know if everybody else is. Comment below, but my allergies this year have really kicked my tail all the way through. It's been a hard one. Oh, we have got a lot to cover. Matter of fact, I know we're not going to be able to cover everything. If you are an avid subscriber of Brewtiful Mornings, thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, welcome to Brewtiful Mornings. My name is Doug Barrick. I'm the town manager. This is Magnolia Long. She's our community development director. Both of those titles just mean that we have a lot of different hats with different things on them that we all do every day. And so Brewtiful Mornings is our commitment to you to be live, to answer your questions, to create community, and create you to be in the know of what's going on here in Rutherfordton. So thank you, Mayor Dancy and Jackson, for kicking us off this morning. We have got a lot going on. If you have not signed up for and not reading our Rutherfordton Sun newsletter that Magnolia is our wonderful editor-in-chief on, please make sure that you are signed up for the Rutherfordton Sun, because if somebody today was to tell me that there's nothing going on in Rutherfordton, I would be remiss to show them the 4 or 5 pages of what would be printed off in the Rutherfordton Sun of just the town of Rutherfordton's sponsored events and events that we know about. And so, gosh, there is a lot going on in Rutherfordton. Magnolia, I know I want to get to the Purple Martin Fabulous 4 Miler and the shirt that I've got on here, but we had some guests this morning, including a baby shark. What's the quack about on these ducks?
Okay, like, look, I got these in honor of Scoops opening up. Like, they're cute little ice cream sprinkle ducks, but that one is going to be in my nightmare tonight. Oh my gosh. But
I had to get the baby shark to do.
Yeah. So every year we
Or
do.
it could be the daddy shark to do.
It could. Good Lord. Now that song's going to be stuck in my head all day.
That was the goal.
Yeah, thank you. Every year we do a Duck Dash Derby where we race little rubber duckies through the Cleghorn Creek in Kiwanis Park. And all of the money that we raise from the sale of these ducks goes towards the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. So this is our 3rd year doing it. Last year we had a really amazing turnout. So I'm really excited. I hope I ordered enough ducks for this year, but ducks are for sale in Town Hall. We're open 8 to 5, so definitely come by today. You'll get first picks of the ducks. They just came in yesterday, so everything is set up. And look at this one. It has like wacky hair. So there's all sorts of ducks. Anything that describes your personality or your kid's personality, like we have them. So we just hope that everybody will come out and enjoy that. It'll be on May 12th. The duck race will be around 7 p.m. We'll probably set up a little bit sooner just to invite the community to come out and hang out with us. And then that night, we're also showing the movie The Bad Guys in Kiwanis Park in our Movies in the Park series. So it's going to be.
Which I watched that. I previewed it over spring break with the kids. It's pretty good. I'll give you credit. It's a good movie. I was laughing my tail off.
So excited. I haven't seen it, but I know that it is it's so popular over at the library. So I'm just super excited for all of this stuff to finally happen. And I know, Kevin, it's time for the Duck Derby again. So we hope that everyone will come out and participate.
If you guys have seen our event calendar for the year, maybe Kevin's comment, sometimes we've done the Duck Derby in the fall, but we've really had to move things around just to ensure that we've got space on the events calendar for everything that's going on here in Rutherfordton, and to be cognizant of things that are going on outside of the town's purview, but happening here in Rutherfordton that's even more delightful and enjoying. So some of the things like at Night Owl Ironworks, Food Art and Brew, and how they've kind of collaborated together and begin to move with their event series. And Small Town Coffee Roasters, they're doing open mic nights. They've got live music tonight. So just making sure that we're cognizant of all of those different things that are going on in Main Street businesses and, in different things in the community, and making room for all that. So moving the duck race to the spring, why not spring forward and have some fun with the ducks? And so, like Magnolia said, those are $5 a piece, but the best deal is really 4 for $20. I mean, that's your best deal. I mean, if you could get 4 for $20, why not? You know, there's no sense in making change.
Yeah,
$10
and
bills are so underrated these days. You don't want that as change.
but we do have that deal going for 2 for $10.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
I heard Sonya talking about 1 for 3 for 15, but I think the 4 for 20 is the way to go.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the way to go.
All right, so that's coming up in May. What was the date on that again?
May 12th.
May 12th.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have got a load of stuff to go through this morning. I want to go through the Purple Martin Fabulous 4 Miler real quick. So tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., shotgun start. Although there'll be no shotguns and there'll be no guns. So I think it's just going to be me going, go, you know, in a big loud horn or a siren or something. But we have over 120 runners signed up for the Fabulous 4 Miler. It'll start in Kiwanis Park. You'll start in the around the green space there, go across the covered bridge, head out the Purple Martin Greenway all the way out, almost to the turnaround there at the waterfall. You'll turn around and you'll come back. So it's an out and run race. And when you come back into Kiwanis Park, you'll hang a left to go up around the playground and come over the open bridge and end in the brick memorial circle there at the park. This year's race, every year that we've done a race on the Purple Martin, we have used the funds to go to some type of proceed for the Purple Martin Greenway itself, whether it be benches, trash cans, picnic shelters, next phases of the trail and funding the phases of the construction of the trail. This year, all of the funds are going to the Eric Wells Memorial Picnic Shelter, which will be placed in Kiwanis Park over on the 7th Street side near the parking area. And it is a beautiful shelter. Hopefully we'll raise enough funds for the fireplace as well, but big shelter there. And that'll give us as a community a place to gather, a place to rent out for Kiwanis Park. We get email inquiries, phone calls on the daily basis of, can I rent Kiwanis Park? Can I have a birthday? Kind of those things. And unfortunately, it's a first come, first serve facility, but this will give us rentable space, give community gathering space, and really be a nice asset to Kiwanis Park. And so far, we have had around $14,000 in private commitments to that shelter already come into the fund that has been set up. The Kiwanis Club is actively working on their major fundraiser this year, which is their annual auction. And all of the proceeds from their auction will go towards that shelter. And we have been extremely blessed this year with, again, over 120 runners in this year's race. But we have had some amazing sponsors. And if you would just for a minute allow me to read some of these sponsors off. Main Street Coffee and Ice Cream, Main Street Market, Artifactoring, Tri-City Paving, Small Town Coffee Roasters, Mi Pueblito, Blanton Miller and More, Fountain Electric, the Law Office of Elizabeth T. Miller, the Rutherton Women's League, Odom Engineering, and some of our major sponsors, RHI Legacy Foundation, Associated Printing and Services, and our platinum major event sponsor this year in Trelleborg. And so we want to thank all of the sponsors. Between the sponsors and the online donations, as of today, we are at $13,488 raised for the race. We do have some pledges that have not come in yet. And so we're really aiming for a $15,000 goal for the race. So still time to give. If the race is not for you and you'd like to give to support the race and to support the shelter, Magnolia just dropped the link to the donate button. But it help us reach our goal of $15,000 for this year's race towards that. And it's going to be an amazing day tomorrow. The race is rain or shine. We have done all we can do to put together an amazing event. Shirts, for those that are watching that are running in the race, shirts and bibs are here. We advertised in the email 2 to 6, but really you can come by anytime today. Somebody will be here until 6 o'clock tonight at Town Hall, 129 North Main. And then also day of the race at Kiwanis Park. We will be there ready to go with shirts at 7 a.m. Again, it is rain or shine. The greenway will be cleaned off, and so we've looked the whole greenway for tripping hazards and all that kind of stuff. And so as long as we don't have any lightning we will continue to go with the race as scheduled at 8 a.m. So going to be a great morning out there. We'll have food and water for you. Chick-fil-A will be on site with their trailer. So if you've got family coming into town, or you just want to carb up after the race, I wouldn't suggest it before the race, but after the race, Chick-fil-A will be there with their trailer selling breakfast. I want to say thanks to Sam and the crew over at Forest City Chick-fil-A for coming over and helping us out for the race. So it'll be a great morning.
I honestly didn't know that Chick-fil-A had like a food trailer.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. Okay. Now that makes getting up at 7 a.m. a little easier.
Just a little easier. I mean, chicken minis, chicken biscuits, that clearly makes things a lot easier, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Doug, is there like a cutoff day for, obviously nobody else can register for the race, but is there a cutoff for the online donations?
There is not. And so we are going to leave that up probably for another month or so. Again, we really want to make our $15,000 goal at $13,488 right now. We will take day of registrations for the race. So if you show up tomorrow morning, we will register you for the race. There are no more T-shirts available. All of our T-shirts are sold out. You've passed that date. But if you show up tomorrow morning, cash only, $25 exact change. $25 exact change tomorrow morning, and we will get you in the race up until about 7:45, 7:50 to make sure our timer has time to get you in there. So see us at the registration table tomorrow morning, $25, bring exact change, and we will get you in the race, get you a bib. But we are really excited about the race tomorrow morning, and we do have just a few extra T-shirts for sale. Those will be for sale for $20, but I think we only have like 2 or 3 shirts left because of the massive amount of runners we've got this year. 120 runners. First time us over the 100 mark in a few years. Clearly the first time over the 120 mark for this race. So we are really excited to host everybody tomorrow morning.
All right, Doug, last question. Obviously, we have 120 runners that are starting out in Kiwanis Park. Where is the best place to park?
Great question. Parking is always a great question. So you've got a lot of availability over on 7th Street at the County Building Inspections Office. Some of our parking over on 7th Street, Second Baptist Church on Green Street. There's a large parking lot over at Blanton Miller and Moore over on McBrayer Drive. Got our parking over on Main Street, just shy of the Episcopal Church, or really anywhere downtown, and then walk over to Kiwanis Park. So those are kind of the big. You can park at our Public Works and stretch out and just walk into Kiwanis Park. So there's a lot of opportunities for places to park right in and around the park.
Perfect.
All right, so Magnolia, this was a huge Rutherton Sun newsletter this week. Lots of programming activities at Norris Library, a lot of programming activities over at the fire station, and it's right here in the heart of budget season.
Mm-hmm. It is. We're here. We're in the middle of it.
Well, we're actually towards the tail end of it. If we wanted to say, that, from our side, we're towards the tail end of our budget season.
Let's see. I'm trying to pull up the Rutherford Sun just so we don't miss anything. Here we go. Yep. And then the other big story in the Rutherford Sun is looking for all of the stories of Rutherford. So RTR is in the process of rebuilding our website. So we're trying to make it a little bit more user-friendly, a little bit more interactive, but the community here is absolutely amazing. And there is a lot of testimonial about how amazing our community is, how amazing our town is. And we want to hear that. Like, we want to get the firsthand stories. So there's a link in the Rutherford Sun to fill out a Google form. And we're working on putting an example one out there just to kind of be like, yeah, this is what we're looking for. But I made a post about it on the town social media about how we want to hear all of those stories. We want to see the pictures of stores that you used to visit whenever you were little, or the random strangers that talk to you on Main Street and make you feel welcomed and like you belong here. So that's the other big piece of the Rutherford Sun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, because when you really get to meet somebody and understand, what their journey was that led them to Rutherton, and then really for me, it seems like every time we have that story with folks, it reiterates that Rutherford seems to be the place that they blossom. Maybe that there's been struggles in the past at different communities or whatever the case may be in their life journey. But when they get here, the community allows them to blossom here in Rutherfordton. And, you see that orchestrated on Main Street with Main Street businesses, but just in personal connections too. It just seems, it may be a little biased about that, but that seems to be the underlying tone for a lot of things. And we really want to be able to tell that through everybody's story, whether that's a longer story or condensed story. Just to understand that this is such a wonderful place to be. I know when you come into the county, it says small town friendly, but I think Rutherfordton really is the heart of that. And you can twist that in so many different directions, but really how the small town feel really starts with that grassroots personal relationship and how it allows community to happen organically. And I'm just excited, as I drive through Main Street this morning, the new sign for Mill Hill General Store is up. The awning is back up at Mill Hill. There's a sign crew over at Maples on Main putting up new signage at Maples on Main. The vibrancy of Impulse Art Studio is just shining on the block. Sunny Days, it continues to do different things on their porch, and Amazing Fudge. And there's just so much cool stuff going on downtown. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, with those 4 businesses that I just listed. So, it is really neat to kind of see all that come together, and the stories behind all those, just from those businesses, but also the ones that all kind of support those. Yeah, stories of I was actually over at Haircutters yesterday, and Glenn was in there getting some stuff, and doing some paperwork, and a couple of the guys were just talking and shooting the breeze and just hearing some of their stories of yesteryear and of past. Kevin's right. I mean, there's all kinds of amazing stories. What we want to do is pull all those together and then showcase that for the community to kind of share.
I'm excited to read them and just go through them. And I hope that we can do something really meaningful with all of the stories that are submitted.
Yeah. Kevin, matter of fact, the guys over at Haircutters yesterday, they were talking about, when they were in high school at the old RS high school, up on top of the hill. And they were kind of talking through how neat it's going to be for, the school system has partnered up with the Dogwood Foundation, Gateway Wellness Foundation, and some others to turn that into apartments for teachers. And it's going to be going through the historic tax credits. And so the rehab of the building will be done to National Historic Register standards. And so just really kind of cool stuff of how the building is going to be preserved for the next century, and just all the cool stories that happen, in that building. And, they were talking about how fun it would be to just kind of like this, like the people that are living there, learn some of the stories about, some of the funny things that happen in the auditorium, or some of the funny things that happen in the girls' gym down in the basement, or the dungeon, they were calling it back in the day. And so it was just cool to sit and listen and kind of feed into that conversation yesterday.
That's awesome. Other things that were mentioned in the Rutherfordton Sun is the renovations of our fire station number 1. So those have finally been completed, and they're actually inviting the community to come to their grand reopening on International Firefighters Day, which is May 4th.
I thought that was Star Wars Day.
It's both.
So you could go dressed in Star Wars gear? I mean, like...
That's going to be a great time at the fire department.
Maybe Reagan can take all of the people that come to the library, because I know she's doing an event at the library for Star Wars Day, and just take Baby Yoda and everybody right over to the fire department.
Great idea. Yeah. But their grand reopening is from 3 to 5:30 with an actual ceremony at 4, right?
Yeah, they're going to do a small ceremony at 4. Think about a ribbon cutting, but it's a fire department, so you got to have some hose involved. There's going to be a hose uncoupling at 4:00, and just a small rededication of the building at 4:00. But really a drop-in. Anytime you can get by there between 3 and 5:30 on that Thursday afternoon, you definitely want to take a tour of the facility. Check out the restoration process of the 1924. It's coming along fantastically. You'll be able to see that up close and personal. But really just to kind of get a tour of the facility, see some of the things that are going on there, bring the kids out. It'd be a great time for them to kind of interact with our firefighters. But If you've ever served in our fire service or served out of that station, come by, take a tour. We just want to be open to the community and kind of showcase some of the neat things that have happened there. And it's really just a refresh of that facility: new paint, new flooring, new HVAC, some new safety features, new cleaner air features, and some fit and finish features that allow us to kind of move that facility for the next 25 years of service.
So I don't think y'all have talked about the coolest aspect of the renovation.
Ooh.
It's the table in the living quarters.
It's little things like that. It's the little things like that. So yeah, the fire department, the firemen live there 24/7, 7 days. I mean, they're there. There's a kitchen there, but for years there was never a kitchen table. 28 years of service, there really was never a kitchen table. And now the way the kitchen was kind of redesigned, we didn't move any of the walls, but the way the cabinet layout is in there now, it allowed for a table for 8 firefighters to sit, and it has been fantastic. It's been just a place to sit and gather, share stories in the evenings, share a cup of coffee in the morning before they get their day going.
Play card games.
Play card games in the middle of the night as they wait on calls. But it's been really neat to kind of see that and see how it's allowed some of the volunteers to interact with the full-time members, the juniors, and our junior program over there, for them to come and have a place to drop and do their homework, but also just learn fire service, learn life lessons from some of the older firefighters, more experienced firefighters. How about that? So.
Mm-hmm.
And Magnolia kind of touched on it at the beginning. We are in the, really in the timeline of things. We're in the heart of our budget season, but we're really from the staff side as we begin to now transition into the public realm fully. The budget season, we're kind of wrapping up our work here on staff. And so later today, I will publish the manager's recommended budget on our website and give the community a chance to start to delve through what my recommendations are for the coming year. And, we're excited because now that gives the opportunity for us to present that at our May Town Council meeting, for Town Council to continue to ask questions and to walk through the budget cycle, and then to host a public hearing at our June meeting in advance of whatever changes may come from our recommendations to the formal adopted budget in June. And so with this year being a tax reval year, we've written some articles, we've published some things on our webpage and in the Rutherton Sun around tax revaluation. So obviously, as the values of the property have gone up and your property value has gone up, we will reduce the tax rate proportionately to try to equal that bill out. Now, there's a formula called the revenue neutral rate, and without giving you a dissertation on government finance, basically what that does is it says, hey, what is your rate? What is your revenue source from last year? How much did you generate? And what's the tax rate that would equal that out for the coming year? So in Rutherford, last year, our tax rate was 59 cents on the old values. With the new values, to generate the same amount of tax value with some growth factor built in there, brings our rate down to 45 cents. So from 59 down to 45. And I will say that as we looked at how we could balance our budget with our personnel needs, operating needs, and we are not oblivious to the world around us with inflation and inflationary costs. And just like in your household budget, things are costing more. Just going to the grocery store, to the gas pump is costing more. And our operational costs are up, but we have been able to balance our budget on that revenue neutral rate of 45 cents. However, as we look at what our critical priorities are, not only from staff and the board, but also through our action plan process, what we are seeing are some major facility needs that the town is going to have to address. So we have been blessed with what I can still consider a new public works facility over on North Cleghorn Street, and the repurposing of our old facility into the Copper Penny Grill here in Rutherford. That was an amazing project. The project that we're going to celebrate on May the 4th with the renovation of our fire station on North Mitchell Street. Our library has gone through massive amounts of upgrades and improvements, new windows, new doors. They're in the process starting today of putting a new roof on that facility. And so how do we then look at what it means for our town hall facility and our police department? As those two operations have cohabitated for the last 23 years, we have grown, storage needs have grown, staffing has grown. We really need to find a solution to address the needs of our police department and how that moves forward, which in turn means we need to address how we find a solution for community gathering space for the town hall. And so I am recommending in my budget next year to increase our tax rate from 45 cents, which would be the revenue neutral, which would mean that we would, if without a tax reval, we would still be at 59 cents if you guys are following along here. And so it would be an increase of 2 cents. And those 2 cents will go strictly towards a capital facilities plan, a capital facilities reserve. It will not go into operations. It will go towards solving the long-term capital facility needs of our community, to create community gathering spaces, to hire an architect to look at how we move forward as a community, to begin master planning that, to survey, to see how big of community building spaces we need, and to solve the issue of a modern and new police department for our police force here in Rutherfordton. So when you look at that, a lot of times you say, hey, what am I getting for my tax rate increase? So from kind of a hold the line zero base, and that continues our operations moving forward, the 2 cents is going towards the long-term success of your facilities and your community buildings for the town of Rutherfordton, and to ensure that our buildings reflect the needs of the community. And what we're seeing is the community is desperately needing more space to gather, more space to begin grassroots efforts and grassroots campaigns for civic organizations, for just normal meetings. And it's really a blessing to us here at the town to see all these things continue to grow. And so those 2 cents are going to be able to fund that moving forward. So I'm really excited to see the community's reaction to that and how that moves forward in our recommendations through the budget process.
And I will add that I think you mentioned it in the article that you wrote, Doug, but we're also going to be looking for the community to weigh in on what those town facilities look like. Like, we want your opinion. We want to know what you think, what you want throughout that entire process. So whenever we get to that point, like, we will be putting so much out on social media. We'll be seeking your input, everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to be able to showcase those plans, showcase all that. And I think that's a little different process. You know, I have a lot of friends that are in local government, a lot of my peers that are town managers or county managers, and not to belittle their process or anything like that. But, you know, we want to ensure that what we're doing here in Rutherfordton meets the needs of the community. And a lot of times what I see when I look to other communities is there's a plan. It's put together by 2 or 3 people and an architect. It goes to construction, and the community comes in and goes, why did you do this? You know, this doesn't make any sense. We didn't need. And so we want to make sure that as we go through that process, we're having focus group meetings, we're having surveys, we're sharing floor plan ideas, we're sharing architectural renderings. We want your feedback, and we need that feedback to ensure, because these are truly your buildings. These are truly the buildings of the community. And so I'm really excited to kind of walk through that process and see how that moves forward.
Yeah.
Specifically for our police department, when we look at some of our police staff, I mean, you know, we joke all the time that Magnolia and I's offices have no windows, which I could care less. But I mean, we've got police officers in closets, we've got detectives in small rooms. It's and some of the things we've asked them to do from a storage and space needs. It's, you know, 23 years in one building, you grow to the size of what you have, and we've added officers over that time and added different outreach opportunities, different divisions of the police department. And so it's time for some more space for those guys and girls. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. And I love Kevin's thought process. He's right on. You know, the town does not currently own the legal ground space, but chances are, as we go through that foreclosure process, we're anticipating that auction to be late May, early June of this year. As that works through the court system, that'll be a space that the city probably will ultimately control, unless somebody would like to come in and purchase it, which we would love. We've got the space right across the street from that, affectionately deemed as the Hole. We've got the legal grounds building. We've got the space here. And there are some other smaller properties that the town manages. And I will say that, you know, while the leaning focus right now is that the building that we're in here at 129 North Main could become the new police department solely, I don't know that anybody's 100% sold on any of that. So that'll be one of the things, first and foremost, in working with an architect, is to say, hey, you know, what place makes the most sense, and then how do we make that place the most viable for the future. So yeah, we are not sold on any of those. So that's a great comment. My gosh, I you know, we can continue to go on and on and on. And I was looking through the Rutherton Sun, and we could literally probably stay on here until 11 o'clock going through everything on the Rutherton Sun.
Well, I put the link in the comments, so definitely sign up for or to have the Rutherford Sun come directly to your mailbox or inbox, your email. Every single month, it goes out the third Wednesday of the month, but definitely just sign up for it. We try and put so much information. We try to represent each and every department in the Rutherford Sun just to stay transparent and communicate what we're up to, what we're working on, what our priorities are, and everything like that.
Yeah. Tonight you've got live music at Copper Penny. You've got live music at Small Town Coffee Roasters. And you've got tomorrow you've got Cars and Coffee. Now, Cars and Coffee might get rained out. I don't know if Sam's on live with us, or somebody from Cars and Coffee wants to comment. They may get rained out with the pending rain that's coming in. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. But the Purple Martin Fabulous 4-miler out and back race from Kiwanis Park, we are going to move forward, rain or shine, as long as it's not thundering and lightning, which I don't think is the case. Yep, there's Sam on there. Sorry about that. Cars and Coffee is canceled for tomorrow, but you can still get in your car and go get coffee. So yeah, that's always there. But yeah, the rain or shine tomorrow for the Purple Martin Fabulous 4-mile. Huge thank you to all of the runners, all of those that have donated, all of those that have sponsored. What a blessing to kind of come together as a community to raise funds for the memorial shelter there at Kiwanis Park in memory of Eric Wells and the Kiwanis Club. So I want to thank everybody that's kind of come together for that project.
Are we done?
Are we dressing up for Star Wars Day to go to the fire department? Is that a thing? Are we going to be like international intergalactical firefighters?
I unfortunately have a pulmonology appointment at Chapel Hill that day.
What a coincidence. Wow.
Okay, so it was supposed to be
that correctly.
It was supposed to be yesterday, but I put it off because I'm in a study for like the Trikafta stuff. So it was too early to be seen for that study visit. So I had to reschedule it, and that was the appointment day. So I'm very sorry, but I think it is a great idea for you, Doug, to dress up.
I'll consult with Reagan. Reagan's the expert on that. I'll consult with her over at Norris Library. Last thing I want to touch. Last night there was a meeting of the Ruthertown Rising, and was joined by board members from Food, Art, and Brew. And see, as I'm saying, intergalactical Star Wars firefighter stuff. May the 4th, Star Wars Day at the library. Check them out on Facebook for all of their great activities and events they've got going on. And then from 3 o'clock to 5:30 over at Station 144 North Mitchell Street on May the 4th. And if you forget all that, just come to our town council meeting on May the 3rd, and we will try to remind you of all of those. But last night was a meeting of the Ruthertown Rising Board as they look at their mission, their vision that are newly established, and now their work plan of how they interact and foster both downtown beautification, but moreover downtown prosperity and business prosperity in our community with Stephanie, she's going to kill me, with Rebecca Blanton at the helm of RTR as the new executive director. She was on last week with us and was at last night's meeting. But it was really fun to kind of see the growth of RTR and where RTR is and how they are now repositioning for downtown prosperity, but then also Food, Art, and Brew, and how Food, Art, and Brew as a committee is now moving from just solely putting on amazing festivals and events downtown to taking that grassroots community effort of artists and musicians and just creative minds into business prosperity, and kind of how those two organizations can collaborate, sometimes on a parallel track and sometimes not, but all overall for the greater good of downtown Rutherfordton is exciting. And we're right on the cusp of all that as all this begins to kind of move forward. So it was a really powerful meeting last night, I felt like, between the two organizations.
And I think the one thing that really stuck out to me from what Rachel Jackson, one of the owners of Night Owl Ironworks, said last night was really the sole mission of FAB is to increase the positive perception of our town. And I can't think of a better organization who accomplishes just that. So I just really appreciate them coming to our meeting last night and really focusing and putting the walking the walk instead of just talking the talk about collaboration between both of those organizations.
Something you were just saying about walking the walk and talking the talk reminded me. I was talking with Dot and Lindy Abrams. Many of you that watch the show all the time know Dot and Lindy Abrams, but they have been instrumental in helping us kind of replant and bring new life to the Main Street Park. And so we've been able to replant all the beds, all of the flower pots. We've added flower pots with new trees in there. And everything in the park now is natural, of course, is native to our region, whether it's native to Rutherfordton or native to this part of North Carolina. All of the species of plants in there are that way, and will foster some long-term success of all of that. I say that to say that we have noticed that some of the plants have been picked, or some of the plants have been just kind of touched a little bit. And we would just ask that please try to leave, as these plants are now, you think of them as almost like infants. They are in their infant stages, and this is where their long-term growth is achieved. And so we would just ask that if you see anybody messing with or touching the plants, please let them know that, to hands off, let them kind of grow, and let them get established. This is the most critical time for them as they are repotted. So not picking on anybody, just we've noticed that, some people have a nervous tick of that, or just a habit of touching the plants. But if we just asked for the long-term success of that to help us keep hands off for a little while. All right. I think that's it. Like I said, I was sitting here looking at the Rutherfordton Sun. I was kind of sitting and looking at my notes of other things that are going on in the town, other opportunities. Maples on, as we sit here and speak, Dan from Maples on Main sent me a text, and they've got their new signage up right down the block from them. Yeah, I think it was yesterday, the day before. I saw Christy's name on here. Yesterday or the day before, the new signage went up at Mill Hill. They put their awning up. I believe it was yesterday. I know that it's been about a week or two ago, the new signage at Sweet Forever Florist and Gifts was up. I saw them last night, and they looked like they were in a frantic, just busy bees everywhere, with it being prom weekend this weekend. And so I know they've been busy, even though they're not formally open. I know they've been taking orders and doing orders through Sweet Forever Florist and Gifts. So that whole block right there from Main Street Park North is really in a massive transition phase. The block south on that side of the road, with now Impulse Art Studio, Main Street Market, and I think I've heard sometime in the next 5 to 7 days, Main Street Market is finally going to get their new one-off sign that Night Owl Ironworks is working on for them. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. Come downtown, check things out, be a part of what's going on in downtown Rutherfordton, be a part of the business community and all of the great things in Rutherfordton. So
exciting. So much movement.
It's good stuff.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see everybody tomorrow morning, bright and early. Rain or shine.
Chick-fil-A.
In Kiwanis Park, not on Chick-fil-A.
Maybe next year we can say Maples on Green. because it'd be like
Ooh.
Maples on Main, but they'll be
On Green Street.
Yeah.
That's a
Who
good idea.
knows? Who knows? All right.
Happy Friday.
Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. See you tomorrow morning, bright and early, for the fabulous 4 Mile. Magnolia, thanks for everything from the studio booth. We will see you, everybody, next week.
Whenever lost, whenever down, you know